Hey everyone, welcome to Scribble Time with Nolan, with Panda. I'm your host Nolan. I've been doing this for about a few months and yet I still can't get that intro down. Anyways, today is Fan Friday, so we will be drawing drawings submitted by fans or drawings that I found of the Panda online. So I will spend the next hour just redoodling some of these in my own style and with the Pandas. So hope you guys are doing all right. It's Friday, so it's a nice sunny day here in Seattle, and let's get to sketching. All right. So today we have a bit of, let's see here. I'm just gonna try to size up one thing actually. So I got some comments regarding. Let's see if I can do this right. Okay, how about this? All right. So I'm going to pop up the thumbnail in the bottom right corner a little bit bigger. So there you go. So you guys can see me. Today, yeah, we are doing Fan Friday. And Hector is always such a great contributor. So he's done a lot of work. So I would just, I'll try to post a link in his bio for the info here. So, but yeah, thanks a lot for doing that and sending some of these in. He's actually sending a lot of them, so I don't know if I'll be able to get to all of them, but we shall see. So anyways, yeah, so when I get to yeah, so he has this he calls it an Australian kaiju, and it's got a really cool some really cool things going on here. Has it's destroying, looks like he's destroying the Sydney Opera House. Okay, I've actually been to the Opera House once, visited back in, I believe 2000 and boy, I want to say 2015ish maybe, or no, maybe 2016 I guess. Boy, that was quite a while ago. It's a bit hazy with my timeline, but anyways, it's got like a 3-clawed, it's got 3-claw paws, everything's 3 claws. It's got an extra 3 claws here. What? Not sure. I'm trying to figure out what this is. I think it's looks like it's part scorpion, and it's actually got 4, I think it's got 4 bottom legs. So there's one here, one there, one there, and I think there might be another one on the back of the building, and then there's and then it has 2 smaller arms and 2 bigger arms. So it's it's kind of like an octopus, I guess, right? It's an octopus merged with a with the scorpion. So this will be very interesting to tackle. So I'm just gonna pull up some reference for the Sydney Opera House, just because my memory of it is a bit faint. It is a pretty amazing structure. It had all sorts of problems with it, with the construction and the design phase. I think, if I remember correctly, the architect for the building never saw it built in real life, and it's kind of sad. I think he was a Danish architect, and so there's all sorts of problems with the construction, and eventually he like just gave up and just went back home, and it was finished. But suffice to say, it is kind of a sad, a little bit of a sad story, but it is also very, it's also a very inspirational looking structure. I mean, it's not, obviously it's not the biggest building that you've ever seen, but it's one of the most iconic ones out there. So I'm going to try to draw this. I'm going to take a little bit of time to study what's going on, just kind of get an idea for the forms, because it's also like you're also adding in an armadillo as well, so it's like an armadillo octoscorpion. So yeah, so I'm gonna try doing that. Boy, pretty tall order here, Hector. You've given me a good challenge here. So we're gonna go through. So if any of you are following at home, yeah, I'm going to try to draw this in my own panda style. So I'm gonna make this a panda / armadillo's octoscorpion eating the Sydney warehouse. Yeah, so he's got like a jaw that separates, kind of like a snake. I think snakes can detach their jaws not only horizontally or vertically, but also horizontally as well. So actually, that's why they're able to wrap their mouths around large things such as deer and other large animals when they eat. So I'm gonna go through here. I'm guessing based upon this, I might not be able to get to the other ones as much, but we're gonna try. So I'm gonna go. Oh boy, I'm gonna make them super big. So I'm gonna put a couple things here. I think. So with the Sydney Opera House, actually, just to go back on it, so the Sydney Opera House is basically like a sailboat type of design, and first of all, you have these roofs, which are the iconic roofs are like they kind of look like this, where they have these like triangular vents here, but the more iconic pieces are obviously these sailboats. So you kind of have a combination of these triangles and wedges being made like so. So I'm just going to kind of just go through and just look at some of these. And also, if you guys have any ideas for any sketches that you like to see, please let me know. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm going to delete this. So I'm going to start with, I'm going to kind of do this in a more comical way, I suppose. And I think, yeah, based upon this image, there's actually there's actually three structures. Yeah, so there's one main one, there's a side opera house, and then there's a smaller venue in the back that's getting squished by him that you don't see. But I know that when you go to the zoo, you have to take a ferry from Sydney to the zoo, and you hop on that ferry. If you ever visit Sydney, hop on that ferry, and then you'll be taken right in front of this opera house, and you basically have all the photo ops you can to your heart's content. I've actually dropped off a panda drawing there too a long time ago. I don't know if anyone's collected it or if it got swept up by the janitor. We shall see. So the thing is, he is, boy, this is going to be a challenge. I'm just like trying to figure out where to start. Okay, so I'm just going to start here. I'm just going to do, let's make this. So I'm just going to block out just rough shapes like such. So there's going to be, it's kind of like the base of it, and then you have like the base or the other opera houses. So you kind of have a combination of these type of shapes. So So yesterday was pretty fun. It was actually my son's birthday, so we got to kind of spend the day. These days it's kind of like yeah, you have to work, but then it's like sometimes it's okay just to take a little bit of a break or even a long day to sit back. So okay, so then I'm gonna have the big guy here. Kind of do it in the shape of my panda. I'm not going to include as many teeth, but we'll go with what we have here. Okay, so then he's got a big tongue here. Oh, I'm kind of getting away from my perspective, okay? Because let me just show you this, guys. Kind of getting away from the perspective. And then I'm gonna do that split jaw. Gonna have to figure out how this works, because he's gonna have a big tongue, gonna be like. Okay, so I guess there's a big tongue here. Big tongue there, big tongue here, tongue there, tongue everywhere, tongue. Alright, so one big tongue there, and yeah, so just gonna try to Okay. I'm going to put a little bit of a dip right there for the mouth because I think it needs that kind of definition. Then maybe add a couple teeth here. Okay, I think I got one of the hardest parts done. Now I need to sort of focus on the rest. I'm gonna go breeze through here because I was running into this issue yesterday when I was working on the farm animals, which you can spot in yesterday's stream. So I'm gonna do some circles like that, and then give him some beefy arms. Be like. Okay, go kaboom. Let's take out one of the sails. Okay, then we're going to add some scales here, or he's going to kind of have some sort of scales. Okay, so they go like that. Splash. Then we add that little scorpion tail. Let's inform that a little bit. We're just going to move that over. And then we're just going to go making the sound effect. I think he has these like rock-like patterns on his knees and elbows. Wow, pretty crazy design, Hector. So this guy has two other arms, and he also has like two skinny. He has two skinny arms too. So we'll put that there for the big arms. then for the skinny arms will be like little baby hands. It's gotta make sense. Gotta have them make sense. Here, maybe I have him holding on to this. Yeah. Okay, we'll go like this. These little tiny T-Rex baby arms. These guys like kind of like a chest plate, so to speak. I think I'm sort of getting it. I don't know. It's like there's quite a lot going on here for sure. I'm trying to just get some of these shapes and kind of taken care of as I'm going through this without getting too much into all the tangents and stuff. Oh boy. Okay, so let me try to just add another leg here. So this is a water here, so it'll be like splashing everywhere. Maybe there's a boat that's like, we're gonna die. And there's another leg right there. Then we can have our scorpion tail coming up a bit. It's a bit bulbous. I think this kind of looks like the guy from. Looks like the Ninetales from Naruto, I think, or not the Ninetales, the sand monster that's in Gaara. That's what it kind of looks like. You know, speaking of Naruto, I haven't done one yet. Maybe I'll do that as the next one. That should be pretty fun. Maybe like a One Piece. Okay, I think I got all the limbs. Hector, there's way too many limbs. Too much stuff going on here. I'll have to color this in some way to make it feel like. It's like, crikey, there's a giant monster up here. Yeah, I think we need a little bit of help. This monster is getting pretty big. Making it quite a ruckus at. Making a bit of a ruckus at the opera house. 10-4 over. 10-4, we'll go and I'll go help you out. Yeah, let's go clean up. And I reckon we get this guy away from the opera house. How do we do that? I don't know. I think we go bother him. Maybe we poke him with a stick, or maybe get like a treat. Get some sugary snacks or something. Get some rainbow toast or some Tams. How about some Tams? Okay. All right. Wow, that's quite a bit. So this is Destructo Kaiju Monster. Okay. Wow, that's quite a bit. So that's a way of just trying to tackle a pretty ridiculous monster. This is ridiculous. And I'm gonna go and try to look at something different here. Let's see if there's another character. I believe there's another one where it's there's this an artist Litoli Mon 2002 who's made an account and actually redrew one of my Iron Man pandas. Drawing that I made back in 2014, and I'm gonna try to bring that over here. Let's see if I can actually copy this over. Let's see, how do you copy? Let's see how to copy image from Let's see here. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the image. It's for some reason I'm not able to like download it off of Instagram. It's not letting me. Maybe if I had to go like image. Interesting. Yeah, sorry folks, I'm trying to get this file off, but it's not letting me. The only way I could see it working we'll do this snipping tool. How about that? And then we'll go here, and then we'll go back. And I'm just going to just reselect this character here. And we'll bring it in. There we go. Alright, so that's my Iron Man panda. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to go through and redraw this character. So I'm going to take a little, allow some other folks to be able to get in here. Hector. So this is based off of, I think if I remember right, this looks either like was it Iron Man 2, I think? Maybe it's that one. Let me see. Or maybe it's like Mark 1 or Mark 4, I think. It's probably Mark 4. No, it doesn't look like Mark 4. I think it looks like maybe there's like a little maybe there is a lineup of all these different you know, because obviously it's from the MCU, just based on this design. I think it's probably Mark. Yeah, I think it's from Iron Man 3 actually. Yeah, so I'm gonna go through with that. Let's see. It's either Iron Man 2 or 3. Because Iron Man 2, I think he has the... Or no, it's actually the Avengers suit. Iron Man Avengers suit. First Avengers suit. Okay, that makes more sense. Alright, so I'm going to go through and actually... Because I knew it looked familiar, but I couldn't really remember it. So the first Iron Man suit looks like this. That's right. Because I was looking at the chest insignia and I remember in Iron Man 2, it wasn't a circle, it was a triangle. And then the other one, the other Iron Mans, it was actually Iron Man 3 was the reverse. It was more gold than red, which kind of looked a little bit weird to me because I think that when it's all gold like that, it kind of looks like skin, so it almost looks like it's like a naked robot. Okay, so I'm just gonna redraw this one. I'm not gonna have him. I've never done an Avengers one, so I'm just gonna draw him in. It's been a while since I've actually drawn any kind of superhero with my pandas, with the I mean with respect to the Avengers. I mean, there was a chance to do like an Infinity War or Endgame one, but I'm kind of like, I kind of took a little break from doing superheroes for a while, and that's where I started writing my own books, including The Panda is Fat and other panda haikus and other goodies. So yeah, this is oh boy, this is just as complex as the piece that Hector sent. So not getting off easy, but I'm not going to shy away from a challenge. So let's try to make this work. So I'm going to try to just break this down to smaller shapes and bigger shapes, bigger shapes. So hope you guys enjoy this. actually these days I really get a lot of enjoyment just out of doing art in general, because I think they're just I mean, sure, I'll like I'm reading some things like or not yeah, I'm doing a little bit of reading, and I'm also doing, you know, watching some movies. I'm watching the Last Dance, the television series based on the 90s era Bulls. And it's actually a really interesting documentary. Obviously, it's. I know they're trying to be as unbiased as they can be with regards to that, but you know, it's like there certainly is some interesting things with behind the scenes things that went on with the Bulls championship run. And being a Blazers fan, I didn't really appreciate a lot of it, because I mean, I didn't you know, there are parts of it that are a little bit painful because of the fact that they didn't draft Jordan in the beginning. We could have had multiple championships. I don't know. I think that the thing about that's interesting with sports is that you know, they're kind of our modern day gladiators, right? We don't, at least those of us in the short term, we don't really have like don't really have like many tangible examples of war heroes that are on the popularity as, you know, as you know, as what happened in World War II. I mean, certainly we do have veterans that go to Afghanistan and, you know, are stationed there. So, and I'm all for, you know, I'm thankful for at least the freedoms that they provide us here. I think that. Let me see. Or trying to get a different profile of him, but I guess not. Anyways, I was gonna say that, yeah, with heroes, I mean, with sports figures, it's like they're kind of it's, you know, a part of the. I'm thinking this through, so maybe I'm gonna get myself in trouble for saying some things, but I think what's interesting about heroes, with like sports heroes, is that, you know, they're kind of like imbuing some of the traditional values of like self-sacrifice and, you know, these other things where, you know, they're putting it all on the line to win the championship. And, you know, it's pretty, you know, the only downside with it is that it's just entertainment, right? There's not really you know, it's morale in a sense, but it's not like, oh well, you know, fighting D-Day, right? It's different, but, you know, in terms of like the historical impact, I mean the lasting impact of it in terms of life and death, it's, you know, it's you know, it's entertainment, and, you know, what I do is entertainment too. So, right, it's like if I fail at my job, like I'm not gonna get a bunch of people killed right away. It'll be a slow death. Like I will put someone out of business. But to say though, I think that's what I think is interesting though, is with sports. It's like they're still able to do those things, whereas like if you look at, I think the problem I have with the modern NBA is that it's like it feels very there's definitely a lot of capitalists going on, and I'm not anti-capitalist, but it's capitalist in the sense like, people are just trying to just, get the most, right, and they don't, there's nothing about like team loyalty. There's no, and you have people like talking about, oh, they don't owe anyone anything, it's like they're, you have to think about like the player safety and so forth, but it's like, it's, I think that when it comes to talking about those sorts of things and discussing those, it's like, yes, they are valid, and the players should care for each other and their own health and welfare. But I think when that kind of stuff starts becoming the dominant portion of the main concern of the people involved, I think it's, you kind of lose something. And I say that in the sense, like, for example, if you're trying to get something great, there has to be a sense of buy-in from everybody, and it's like, well, and I'm not saying that, oh, everybody has to like have this mindset, but it's like for certain types of endeavors and so forth, like you kind of have to like have a sense where people are willing to be more risk takers, or they're willing to just be, they would want to endure some type of pain or discomfort to get to their final goal. And I think when it comes to things like basketball, I think there's also I think when it comes to like someone acting like a hero or something like that, it's like someone who's transcending, or someone who's upholding virtues that go beyond like the game, that don't make, I guess that kind of don't make sense in terms of financial aspects. So for example, there's a scene in there's a period where the Bulls could not get past the Pistons, and the Pistons were like the dirtiest players ever, right? So they won at all costs. They would just literally put, they would knock people out of the air, and you could say like, okay, well, I mean, they were just playing dirty basketball. That's an objective fact. It's like, you can say all you want if it was competitive. Sure, it was competitive, but it's downright dirty, and it won them championships. But it's like, that was what they had to deal with, or that's the style that they had to play with back then. So in ways, they kind of ended up being like, they were literally named the Bad Boys, right? That was like their moniker that everybody else gave them. They were the people who crashed your party and, spit in your or like put the booze in the punch, when no one else wants it, and just do whatever they want. And my Blazers played against them and got just destroyed. I think though when it comes to but one of the things that showed up was like when the Bulls finally beat them, there was a period where it's like the final few minutes counting down, and all of the Pistons just got up and left. They didn't even shake hands, right? And I think that was like, that was a big slight to not be able to do that. And I think that just shows a lack of sportsmanship. And it's like, well, if you kind of go by the everyone's viewpoint is valid, I suppose, and it's like, well, they could do whatever they want, I suppose, right? But it's like there's something about that irks, that that really left a sour note with people, and they got vilified for that kind of action. And part of it was like, I think they were trying, Isaiah Thomas, who was the point guard of the Pistons, was trying to explain like, well, when we beat the last great dynasty, the Celtics, they did the same thing to us, right? But it's like, it doesn't necessarily make sense, because the Pistons had beaten up the Bulls before, and they had during both times that they knocked the Bulls out of the playoffs, the Bulls would always come up and like shake their hands, even though it wasn't very pleasant, and like losing isn't pleasant at all, right? But it's good for you. It can be good for you, and so there's all that, and then there was also like another short anecdote where Jordan was injured and he wanted to play, and so when he got back into the league, or back into playing and healthy again, they had to come up. The management was very nervous because there was a 10% chance he could break his foot again and end his career, and so like they were telling him like you gotta you can't do this, it's gonna jeopardize your career, that sort of thing. And he's like, I think they had someone was saying like there's a 10% chance that he could injure himself permanently, right? And then the owner, Reinsdorf, was saying, he was trying to use the analogy like to Jordan, saying, well, it's like if you got a headache and I gave you a bottle of pills, like, and there's a 10%, I give you a bottle full of 10 pills and one of the pills is poison. It's like, would you take it? And then Jordan retorted, well, it depends on how bad the headache is, right? And so, so like he did the minutes restriction. He would like play 7 minutes a game, and then there came to a time when there was a game where they were just out of playoff contention, and they needed to win this game. And I'm getting this belly kind of mixed up. I think I have to go like this, okay? And so they and it was like 30 seconds left, right? And it's like coming down to the last possession, and they sit Jordan because his time is up, because I think he was only able to play 14 minutes. And so when he did that, like it just left. When they took him out, it was just like it wasn't part of the game. Like you play the game to win. It's like that was what they wanted to do, and that's why they step on the court every night. And so I think one of the reasons why I think Jordan is held up in high esteem is because he also was championing the spirit of competition, right? Like logically, why would it make sense for you to shake someone's hand if you're, if you lose to them? It's like you're showing submission, or you're showing whatever, right? But I think it's those things that really bind society together, like those things such as respect, and like I was taught to respect elders, and so like that's kind of part of what I do, is because we all didn't get here by ourselves. We didn't will ourselves into existence. Our parents did, and our grandparents and their parents before them did, and so forth. And sure, there's people who are I don't want to have to make caveats and speaking caveats all the time, but there can be terrible people and there can be good people, and somehow, like, it's through all those contributions we are where we are at, and some have a bigger leash in bigger stick in lot in life, and others don't. But yet we have, at least in some ways, have an opportunity with life. I don't know why I'm getting all serious here, but what I'm saying is that I guess I'm just talking about sports, but I guess I'm talking about like why it's been kind of interesting to me, because I have some artist friends most of my artist friends don't really talk about sports. They think it's kind of boring, but I do think that there is something to be said about it. And actually, I think it's actually pretty. I'm not trying to say that in order to be a good artist you have to watch sports. I think it's more the commentary that if you want to be a good artist, you have to learn the powers of observation and look at the patterns of how things are. It's not just with art, it's also with how like other things, like I use an analogy of like cooking and using flavors when you're making art. It's like those are just things I just pick up that I just think about when I'm daydreaming, or I'm thinking about life. It's like I'm trying to just think of things that just I notice these patterns that help me with understanding art. because art is. I came across this essay where it was talking about, art is like a representation of life. So we must be good observers of the world around us, and try to, we decipher that world with our art. And if we're not good at observing, in some ways we kind of create cartoons and caricatures, and sometimes those characters and thus our art does not feel real. And it's like, well, okay, what about like spaceships and robots and stuff? It's like, well, it feels like it's even though there's such fantastical things like those can still feel real, right? Like if you make an alien whose head is, if you're trying to make a realistic movie and the alien has this, head like that, and it has like uber, like a hair thin tentacle like that, and then it's just supported like that. Like it's fun on a cartoon level, like it maybe has this like little tiny feet like this, but that in the real world, thing like this can't really exist. Like it just the weight of this eyeball will just smash it to the ground. There's not enough fibers in the eyeball that you can put in there that will help make it keep up. So that kind of ends up feeling like a caricature. So it's like it has to feel somewhat believable depending on what you're trying to do. When you're doing cartoons, it's like you kind of have a little, like actual cartoons, you can actually have a little bit more flexibility because you can make a cartoon feel very broad, but it's not going to feel quite as realistic, right? Obviously it can feel real in some regards with, say, what you're trying, but it's not. There's definitely a level of abstraction that is not going to be trying to find the words here, that you're not going to get with, say, a more, or I think the story itself is going to, I feel like it would have a bigger impact if it was based more in reality versus like, oh, this is how things should be. And that's why I feel like a lot of art these days feels like things are people just telling us what to do. We're telling people what to do, what to think, that sort of thing, and it doesn't feel like it's an observation. It feels like it tends to feel what they call, or what I sometimes refer to as propaganda, where it's like, oh, this is not really teaching you a lesson. It's trying to teach you a certain lesson, but it's not like a lesson that you see in the real world, demonstrated in the real world. So I say just be careful when you're with these stories. It's like when you're doing your art, it's like you are observing the world around you. I guess one example would be like the people who do the Naruto run, where it's like, yeah, you could run like that. It's not how everybody runs, but and they create like a fictional world where everybody runs like that, which is fine, but it's like, within that world, as they're running and running like that with their arms up, it's like, okay, you just kind of ignore it because they do it so many times, but then it kind of gives you that air that it is a bit fake. I don't know where I'm going with that. I'm just kind of just distracted with this Iron Man suit. It's like, oh boy, like this, the amount of detail the amount of form-fitting stuff there. Yeah. I don't know, I'm just gonna cheat some stuff here. It's the only thing I can do. All right, I think we're gonna call it quits here. This is I've definitely been putting a lot of work in these last couple sketches, so it's definitely something that is very challenging for me, but it's also something that I like a good challenge, and so it makes me think about like the other pieces I'm working on. So there's an Iron Man right there. So let me just sign both of these drawings. So there's that one, the Iron Man Panda, and the Australian Australian haiku destroying the opera house. So, whew. Yeah. Well, anyways, thanks a lot, guys, for hanging out. You guys can catch us later on my YouTube channel, and feel free to let me know in the comments if there's anything else you'd like to see, or if you guys want me to draw some other things or offer some other types of videos. I've been trying to get I've been able to do these drawings for like a full ever since March, I think, so I'm almost at 3 months, so it's been pretty educational for me just to be able to be consistent with the show, even though I've hopped around on terms of the time, but also it allows me to just see what's out there, see what I'm trying to tell. Also helps me to figure out what I'm trying to tell everybody. So that's, you can see me go on these rants about like how the world is, but I don't necessarily want to do those kind of philosophical things, because I'm not really versed in philosophy. But anyways, so if you guys are would like to see more, I'm just putting some touch-ups on this drawing. If you guys would like to see more work, feel free to visit punchingpandas.com. I know yesterday I was actually featured on King 5, excuse me. They have a special that they recorded me back in January, and so that's been airing every now and then, so I get these notifications when people see that, and I kind of know when it's aired again, because I'll see this influx of new follows, so it's pretty cool. And so anyways, feel free to just if you guys have any more drawings like this, we'll keep doing these Fan Friday sessions whenever there's artwork submitted. So submit it you can post it online with hashtag Punching Pandas or hashtag Scribble Time, hashtag Fan Friday, and I'll be able to see those and bring those onto the show to do. So, and also if you guys want to, there's a shop as well. So punchingpandas.com/shop. I also have a Redbubble account that needs to be updated, but I'll let you guys know when those new designs are being uploaded. So with that said, you guys enjoy your weekend, stay safe, and we'll see you guys around. See ya.